All right, guys, sorry about the wait. I'm gonna call the meeting to order 5:48 p.m. Today is March 5th, 2026. And this is GPSA Council meeting 45-10. So we're gonna start out with the roll call. Laurentia, are you able to? Can you do that? I will be doing roll call. Roll call. President Devin Lopez is currently away at a Board of Regents meeting, which is why I am your chair today. But I am here, Alicia Carr, Ola Lacone Belgian,
Present.
Laurentia Bonsu,
Present.
Department of Accounting, Andrea,
Present.
Department of Economics, Prince. I don't see Prince. Department of Finance, Julia Chan. Is Julia here? I don't see you. Department of Management, Entrepreneurship and Technology, Chiabuka? I don't see you. We don't have any information systems, no MBA. MBA programs, business administration, Trey Curtis Brown. I see you there.
Present.
Dental medicine, Cole Dayton.
Present.
Department of Counselor Education, School Psychology and Human Services, Donovan Ross. Donovan, I don't see you. Department of Early Childhood, Multilingual and Special Education, Jessica Alley. Department of Educational Psychology, Leadership and Higher Education, Lynn Lee. Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering and Construction, Adarimi.
Present.
Present. Department of Computer Science, Sabrina.
Present.
School of Architecture, Gavin Silva.
Present.
Department of Art, Cameron Murin. Department of Theater, Nick Case, sorry. Got you. Department of Hospitality Management, Megan Skoll. Occupational Therapy Programs, Stephanie. She's here. Department of Health and Physics and Diagnostic Sciences, Christine Haley. All right, we got you, Stephanie. Is Christine there?
It's vacant.
Oh, vacant, sorry. Christine graduated. Department of Kinesiology and Nutrition, Heather Dan.
Present.
Awesome. Law, David Elder.
Present.
See you there. Department of English, Lauren Glee.
Present.
I got you. Department of Political Science, Bianca. Gotcha. Department of Psychology, Tala. He's here.
Present.
Department of Sociology, Christian. Got you. Department of World Languages and Cultures, Catherine Melbourne. I see.
Present.
Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Health, Christy. Medicine, Michael Caro. Is Michael there? I don't see Michael. Nursing, Laura. Oh, that's right. Department of Environmental and Occupational Health, Salome.
Present.
Got you. Department of Epidemiology and Biostatistics. Is it John?
Present.
Got you. Oh, he's actually here too, but. Oh, okay. Department of Healthcare Administration and Policy. Oh, okay. Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, Jennifer. Oh, Department of Social and Behavioral Health, Rifat. I see you on there. And then was Jennifer on? And then Department of Geoscience, Sierra Ramsey.
Here.
Got you. School of Life Sciences, Declan West. I see you online. Department of Math Sciences, Chinoso. All right, excuse. Department of Criminal Justice, Alicia Longoria. Hank Greenspun School of Journalism and Media Sciences, Lena. School of Public Policy and Leadership, Tyler. Is Tyler online? I don't see it. And then IGP Masters and Certificates, Ann Poole. Oh, did I miss someone? Oh, yes, I did. School of Social Work, Miranda Cameron. Not here. IGP Doctoral Programs, Katie Brickcarroll.
Here.
I got you. All right. Are there any non-voter members of the public who would like to make themselves known for the record? I see none. And then we'll go on to the President's Cabinet, Division of Communications and Marketing, Trexie Dunham. I don't see Trexie. Division of Engagement and Outreach, Ariadna. I'm here. Oh, she just arrived in person. Division of Legislative Affairs, Blanca Pena. I think she'll be arriving online if she's not already here now. All right, Division of Operations, Hugh Lee. Division of Sponsored Funding, that's me, Alicia Cotton. All right, and do we have? Oh, is David King from the Division of Engagement and Outreach here? Do we have Tyler De Lorenzo from Division of Legislative Affairs present at all? And do we have Baylor online, who is our Division of Operations? I don't see Baylor. I think he is out of the country and at a very different time zone. Yes. All right. Then we'll move on to our GPSA faculty advisors. Is Dr. Bill Robinson present? I don't see you.
I don't know, my Zoom just stopped working.
There you go.
Do we have Alyssa Crittenden online at all? I don't see her. And our administrative faculty advisor, Virginia Smercina, is online and also going to be present soon. And then do we have anyone from the grad college online at all? I don't think so. Is Dante here? I guess not. Do you know if we've made quorum? We did. All right, we have made quorum. Now we will move on to a period of public comment. Public comment will be taken during this agenda item. No action may be taken on a matter raised under this item until the matter is included on an agenda as an item on which action may be taken. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Persons making comment will be asked to begin by stating their name for the record and to spell their last name. The board chair may elect to allow additional public comment on a specific agenda item when the agenda item is being considered. In accordance to Attorney General Opinion number 00-047, as restated in the Attorney General's Open Meeting Law Manual, the chair may prohibit comment if the content of the comment is a topic that is not relevant to or within the authority of the body, or if the content is willfully disruptive of the meeting by being irrelevant, repetitious, slanderous, offensive, or inflammatory, irritational, or amounting to personal attacks or interfering with the rights of other speakers. Do we have any public comment at this time? All right, I don't see any. So we can move on to the consent agenda, item 4. The consent agenda items will be approved in whole unless a member objects to an item on the consent agenda in whole or in part. Unanimous consent will be used for the approval of the consent agenda. So we'll go into the approval of the minutes. Were the minutes sent out? All right, I think I have to do, can I open, I need to open it, right?
No, you don't. You just ask them.
Okay. Oh, was everybody able to view the minutes? Are there any issues with, or have any issues with the, yes, we got you, Donovan. The minutes as they were sent out by Secretary Laurentia Bonsu. I don't see any. All right, I think we're good. Do we, I thought we had to open that item first. No. All right, I guess we can move on then. Oh, on to item B, which is the memorandum of understanding. It's 45-01. And this is a request for additional graduate college funding for the GPSA sponsorship program. And this memorandum is introduced by myself and the GPSA president. And this is due to an increase in demand for the sponsorship program during the January funding cycle as a request for additional support to be made. I think that was sent out to everyone. I don't have the copy with me currently, but Hugh, are you able to open the link? Or who has the responsibility of the big screen? Do you mind clicking on the link? Thank you. All right, so this memorandum is something that me and Devin made just because the last sponsorship cycle was very large and we didn't have the, it was a lot more that was expected. But it was outside of our current budget, the amount of requests that we had. So we created this memorandum to ask for additional funding from the graduate college to help us support graduate students. In doing so, to support the last cycle, we had to move some funds around from previous cycles. Wait, I can't see that. I can only see it there. Can you share that screen? Because it's not showing on. Yeah. I can't see it online. You can. That's, oh. Well, she's sharing the agenda.
I was sharing the thing now.
But anyway, it was to ask for additional funding, just because there was about $11,000 that we were not, it was a little over $11,000 that we were not able to cover. But I guess I can actually just read this out. So it says the fiscal year 2026 budget for the GPSA sponsorship program offered expanded opportunities for graduate and professional students to be awarded financial assistance for professional development purposes in comparison to fiscal year 2025. The current budget added an additional $50,000 to the sponsorship program, totaling in $190,000 in GPSA sponsored funding. In recent years, the graduate college has provided $35,000 to GPSA on an annual basis to supplement the sponsorship program. And these dollars were allocated through access funds, which supported needs-based and general research scholarships for graduate students. With the support of the graduate college, the total GPSA sponsorship budget for the fiscal year 2026, as approved by the GPSA Council at meeting 45-05, was $225,000. Fortunately, this has expanded GPSA's ability to support graduate and professional students in their research and other professional endeavors. However, an influx in demand disproportionate to the increased funding in the program was not expected. The GPSA was recently notified by the business manager that the graduate college has additional funds to be allocated prior to May 15th, 2026, the May 15th, 2026 deadline. These funds must be used for research professional development purposes, and GPSA sponsorship program perfectly aligns with the spending restrictions for these funds. The memorandum of understanding, well, this memorandum of understanding 45-01 submits a formal request by the GPSA Council to the Vice Provost for Graduate Education and Dean of Graduate College to supplement the GPSA sponsorship funding with an additional $30,000 to support graduate student research and conference travel through the remainder of the fiscal year. And then the second part, which is the current state of the sponsorship funds, is that the GPSA sponsorship program has been on track with the approved operating budget up through December 2025. The trends in demand for the program were not volatile, and the month-by-month financial allocations made by the GPSA Vice President, myself, were consistent with previous years. Following the December 2025 meeting of the sponsorship committee, a total of $114,360 were allocated to the students. Proportional to the full year's budget, the application cycles from July 2025 to December 2025 expanded 50.1% of the approved annual budget. Typical high demand months include September and October during the fall term and January and February for the spring term. September and October varied from their original monthly allotments by $650 and net minus $1,000 respectively, causing no concern for the viability of the yearly budget. The January cycle, though, received higher applicant interest than was projected based on previous years. The Division of Sponsored Funding anticipated approximately 40 applications for the January cycle, but received and reviewed nearly 60. It was actually over 60. The cycle was originally allotted $25,768.15 to cover all of the high scoring and high priority applications, but the high demand in January caused a reassessment of the allocation. To cover the applications that received a minimum score of 90%, the budget allocated for the March cycle was reduced from $26,000 to $22,000. Despite the funds being moved around to support high scoring applications, approximately $11,612 in request has been placed on hold, those applications scoring between 85 and 90%. And in order to be approved for funding, you have to receive an 85% or above, but those applications are the ones that we didn't have enough funds to support, but received between an 85 and 90% score. Overall, 4,000 from the March cycle, in conjunction with the additional $11,612 of unfunded applications from the January cycle, has led to the request for additional supplemental funding by the Graduate College for a GPSA sponsorship program for the remainder of the fiscal year 2026. And the proposal for additional funding is as follows. The GPSA formally requests additional funding from UNLV Graduate College to the amount of $30,000 to support graduate student research and professional development through the remainder of fiscal year 2026. The $30,000 in additional funding will be utilized in the following manner. First, the remaining $11,612 ineligible but unfunding applications from the January cycle. Two, to replenish the $4,000 we allocated from the March cycle to the January cycles. And three, for the $14,388 to utilize when necessary for the remainder of the fiscal year 2026 sponsorship applications that are eligible for scoring, but which would otherwise not be funded due to cycle constraints. If approved by the GPSA Council, this memorandum of understanding, which is 4-01, shall be sent by the GPSA president to the dean of the graduate college upon receiving the decision by the dean and the graduate college. The president will notify the Ways and Means Committee chair and present to the council at the next meeting summary of funds approved and if any by the graduate college to supplement the GPSA sponsorship program. And this is signed by Devin, our president, and myself. So this is a memorandum that we've brought to council to send to the graduate college to request extra funding because they do have some funding that they have to spend on graduate student research and professional development. And this program, which could use more money, is a perfect way for them to spend that. So we wanted to bring this to council to get your approval. So before we can, before we send it off to the graduate college. So I guess we can enter a period of discussion. Does anyone have any thoughts or concerns? Yes.
Do you know where other
I don't know. I don't have a breakdown of it, but I know that they also have their own current running program where they're giving out funding for a research. So I believe that's at least one avenue that they're using it for. I don't know the breakdown of what they're using it otherwise, but I think this is like student access fund, so it might be distributed to graduate students for various reasons.
Yeah, and to add to that, with the graduate research, they opened an application where they were finding $10,000 for graduate student scholarships. And so I believe that application closed about 2 weeks ago. So if you are in your final year, you needed money for your research, you could apply to them and you could get up to $10,000 from graduate college.
All right. Any other thoughts? All right, then can I get a motion to approve sending the memorandum in its current state to the graduate college, which is the memorandum 45-01.
You can just
It's-
say so moved.
Yeah, that's okay. So moved.
You can
You have
just
to say
say
it.
so moved.
All right.
And your name.
All right, and then can I get a second? Seconded by Trey Curtis Brown. All right, so we will, all in favor say aye, or if, all in favor of sending the memorandum 45-01 to the graduate college, say aye. Any abstentions? There are any oppositions, say nay. Looks like the ayes have it. So we will be sending that to the graduate college. Yay, thank you guys. Next, as we move into item 5 is the appointment of committee members. It doesn't look like there are any, so we can go ahead and move past this item. But then we'll move into the reports and recommendations. I don't think Devin is on yet. He said he might be able to join at about 6:30. But I know the Board of Regents went over and then he has to drive home. So I guess we could skip to me. I kind of gave you a little bit of a rundown of, actually, do you want to go ahead first and then I'll bring up my stuff? Or actually,
Yeah.
treasurer.
I sent my report to you. Do you see?
You did.
My report I sent to you.
to my email.
Yeah.
All right. Treasurer Balagon is going to give his report to everyone. Just hang tight for a second while we pull it up.
So, good evening, everyone. Reports as of February 2026. We recorded a revenue year to date, which is 403,959.33 dollars, and we have a variance to the budget, the projected, which is 50265. 98 points, which means that we've collected 3.3% so far. But for the month of February, we only receive an inflow of $85.91. Expenditure performance. We have year to date for personnel, which is for salary, for both for student workers and GA. So year to date, we spent 120,411.63 from the budgeted of $207,560. So that leaves us with a variance of 87,140.37. And for operation, which comprises of supplies and maintenance and the likes. So the budgeted is 410,729. So year to date, we spent 156,645.16. So we have a variance of 254,003.84. Total expenses of so which shows a very good position. So for the February snapshot, February revenue, we received just 85 again, 85.91, while we expended 19,449.55, which is the expense for the month of February alone, which we now have a net of 19,363.64. In summary, which is a summary of everything. So actual year to date is 43959.33, with a balance of 98,698. Then total expense is 277,056. So which shows that the budget is in the February position number 126,902.54. So this ends the report. So next month will be the end of another quarter. So I will be able to provide more comprehensive overview of the whole report. Thank you very much.
All right. You can take it out. Hey, Devin is online now. Did you want to do your report, or we can skip you if you're not ready?
Hello, can you hear me all right?
Yes. Go.
Can
Can you try talking?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Is there an echo online at all?
I'm not hearing an echo.
Okay, perfect. Then you are all good. Well, can you
Awesome.
go? It's like kind of low because it's only coming from my computer audio, but.
Oh, yes, I'll try to talk a little louder directly into the microphone. But hello, everyone. My apologies for being a little tardy today. The Board of Regents meeting did not end at the 4 p.m. like it normally does. There is like an hour and a half delay at the very beginning, but that's a whole other story. But I do have a couple of just quick updates for you all. I won't have a larger update until the board is actually completed tomorrow evening. So just be on the lookout for one of my monthly reports to be sent out early next week, detailing everything that's going on. But in the Zoom chat, and I'll also send this directly to the council as well, Item 9 from the board today approved tenure recommendations for UNLV as well as all of our sister institutions. And so this document has all of the names of the professors who were just approved for their initial tenure promotion. So if any of these professors work in your departments or you work with them on a regular basis, please give them a shout out and congratulate them. My advisor was also in this list, so I'm very happy to see all of these professors finally get their tenure promotion. That was the major item really that we discussed today. There's been some discussion, or there was a little bit of discussion today about what to do with the athletics budget, both at UNLV and UNR. There's been quite a lot of scrutiny of those budgets. Essentially, UNLV and UNR's athletic programs have not had a budget surplus for several years. They've been operating on a deficit for at least the past 3 or 4, as far as I've been given the data for. And so UNLV has been supplementing the athletics budget with some tuition monies, either some tuition monies or some other monies that were designated from the state in order to support those programs. About a year and a half to 2 years ago, UNLV did transfer about, I want to say $12 million over to athletics to make up for their deficit in the fiscal year 2025. And the board made it a point to ask UNLV and UNR's athletic directors, is that going to be a policy going forward? Are we going to continue supplementing this budget deficit? And so it's still unclear on that right now, but we will definitely be doing the advocacy work to make sure that the budget deficits supplement is not going to be necessarily taken directly out of our tuition dollars, or if so, it would have to come through student government first. That would be our primary request. But other than that, my major updates are just the resolutions that are given to you all today for your consideration. We drafted these and sent them out to the executive board for their endorsement. And so I believe every single one of those was endorsed for your consideration today. So if you have any questions, as always, please reach out to me, gpsapresident@unlv.edu. But otherwise, I hope everyone has a great week. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. And thanks for spending all day at CSUN in Charleston. It was probably a long day and meetings. All right, the next report is mine. I will share the current GPSA sponsorship budget sheet with you guys momentarily. I just had it. Oh, there it is. All right. Can everyone see that? Cool. So as we discussed earlier and from the information in the MOU, our last cycle was pretty large in requested funding. All together with the late applications that came in, we ended up getting a requested amount of $101,000, $101,057.19. And then the amount that scored eligible was $42,618.92. And then we had a budgeted eligible amount of $33,465.88. Most of the notifications for sponsorship funding have gone out. However, since we are asking for additional funding from the graduate college, there are a few people who haven't received notification of whether they're getting funding or not. And those are those people who are in between that 85% and 90%. So if you have not received a sponsorship letter and you applied to sponsorship last month or in the month of January, you are in that group. However, right now I'm trying to rework the budget to find about $10,000 to $11,000 to help support the people who are in that group, because it's going to take a while before we hear back from the graduate college on whether they're able to support us with funding. But I'm hoping that the answer is yes. Otherwise, the next 2 cycles are going to be about $11,000 short. But not the next 2, but the next would be like 3, but the next 2 are the only ones that I will be vice president for. I will say the last 2 cycles of the fiscal year typically are a bit smaller. So I'm not that uncomfortable with taking more funding from those spots. But I would prefer to have a little bit of a cushion in there just in case something drastic happens like it did in our last cycle. But that's all of the, oh, I didn't tell you what we have requested for this month, which is much smaller and more normal than of what we would usually receive. This month, we have a requested amount of $33,295.24. And I budgeted about $16,000 for this cycle. And I do still have some incidental funds that I can use too if I need to dig into those to help support some applications. In that last cycle, there was actually 62 applications and we were able to, or there were 31 of those who scored eligible. So that had an 85% or above. And then there were 5 applications that scored eligible, but it exceeded our current budget, and those are the applications that are waiting. We also had 6 applications that ended up canceling, but some of those applications who did cancel actually ended up reapplying in the same cycle, so they still their applications were still reviewed. But in the end, we have awarded about 27 applications so far. Hopefully I can figure out a way to award the other applications that are currently in limbo. But so far for this year, we've awarded 138 applications out of the 258 that we've received. And we have a budget left over of $48,610.77. That's how much I have to spend. However, the total budget left over is $50,785.54, which includes those incidental funds, which I can just use whichever way, but I want to have it there just in case. And we did originally start out with 5,000 incidental funds, and we have $2,174.77 left of that. But last year, I think I only put away 1,500 in incidental funds, and it was perfectly fine. But yeah, those are the updates that I have for sponsorship. Does anybody have any questions? Do we have any questions online? I actually cannot see. All right, we go on to reports from our secretary, Laurentia.
There's no reports for this month.
All right, next on the agenda is oh yeah, content marketing. Hi, Ariadna. Oh, sorry. Is Trixie online? Then we will go on to our division of engagement and outreach, which is Ariadna.
Okay, so we had our graduation night awards and the tickets requested. So go us. And then March 28th, we have Soul Hope at the Grad Commons. We'll have like refreshments served and they'll be 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We'll be mixing shoe patterns out of blue jeans, and then we'll be sending those shoe patterns to Africa and they'll be making African shoes out of them, and then giving it to people in Uganda to fight against jiggers. So that's kind of fun.
When is the date again?
Yes, March 28th. It's on a Saturday. And I'll be sending an approval survey and then a flyer out sometime in 2 weeks.
Cool. Sorry, I lost my spot. Who's next?
Director of Legislative Affairs. Bianca.
Bianca?
Oh,
Blanca.
Blanca.
Oh, Blanca is online. Do you have any reports for us, Blanca?
No, not right now.
All right. Next is our Division of Operations. Any reports here? All right. Oh, yeah.
This is your screen, right? You're not on.
Here.
You want to use mine instead?
That works. Sweet. Perfect. Everyone can see the screen, correct? Who's on Zoom?
No, we have to share the screen.
I'm not sure what this is. All right. Y'all. All right. Everyone, imagine it. You just joined GPSA, you're ready to make changes, and then you don't know when the meeting is. Or you don't have the link for the meeting. Or you have no idea what you're doing. So we made an easy process so where anyone who's in GPSA or who joins, any new person gets this one link. It's just a Google site and it's called a dashboard. Super easy, super cool. You can find our social medias on there. So that way it helps out with outreach and etc. So you can just share it. But if you're brand new, the first thing you'll do is you'll click on one of these buttons. We'll go into a preview. So you say, I don't know what I do. And this committee should be actually council. So let's say that was council or something, right? You'll click on the council thing. I can't click on it now because the Zoom stuff is making it hard. So I'm gonna go over to this hidden icon up here and click GPSA board. And what do you know? It has our calendar from GPSA. So that way you cannot miss a meeting or know that if we have a meeting or not. And speaking of, this is on every single category. So for secretary, for treasurer, for president, for vice president, we all have the GPSA calendar in one spot. Easy. You just go on that link and you're good. The best part about this too is that for every single role, if you scroll down, not only do you have the folders, the constitution, internal committees, agendas, so that way you all can look at them. You have a 1 paragraph summary of what you do. So if you're ever lost and you have no idea what to do, go to your dashboard, look at it, and you can see what you can do, and you see what your job is in 1 paragraph. Other than that, you always have the Constitution on hand. So if you ever need to look at rules or anything, go to that one site, you're there. The second thing is the meetings or agendas are always there. So if you're online, you can just go onto your dashboard, which every GPSA member would have. You go on to the link, go to the meeting agenda, it'll open the folder automatically, and then you should click on the newest agenda that we're all looking at. So just in case if the share screen is not working, we can all see the agenda on our own computers. Every folder is in here. The main folders for GPSA is in here, and then something that our executive board members would love. I'm trying to make it look sexy, but there's a to-do list. So that way, any executive board member from treasurer, vice president, president, and secretary can have their own to-do list customized to them. Yeah. And that is my update. The dashboard will be ready and will be sent.
Awesome. Thank you, Hugh.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
all your hard work. I don't see any questions or comments online. So we will move on to GPSA. Oh, sorry, I missed a bunch. Did I miss anyone?
Just a historian. I don't think they're here.
No, Baylor is not here. So we'll move on to GPSA Business Manager and Advisor, Nia Smersina. Do you have any updates?
Yes, consider for the record. This is my other half right here. All right, so some quick updates. I had the cap and gown program, so we've gotten a ton of applicants, which is fantastic. We also got a lot of inventory thanks to a $10,000 donation to Grad College to help us increase the inventory of our cap and gown program. But I expect to probably get over 725 applicants so far. And we're probably going to close that portal at the end of this month, close to the end of this month, probably around March 20th. So we're still getting a lot of applicants for the cap and gown program. And I also want to give some quick updates on it from last fall. So we ran the numbers, and last fall it is a rental regalia program. So folks are graduating, GPSA, the camping out program. It's $60 for rental, and then it's $40 you get back. So the GPSA netted last semester was around $1,400 from the program. And so about 700 of that went towards additional stock. Sometimes we don't get things back. We have to replace the foot here and there. So about half of that went to additional inventory. And then there are a few other supplies related to storage space and keeping the camping out program organized and structured in the back office. But if anyone's interested in how it's stored, absolutely come to the back office and take a look. Actually, quick run, there's also a quick run. For the spring, the folks will get notified if they're accepting that program by early April. And we also wanted to give a research forum update moving into April as well. So actually, I think, so some folks may have gotten an update in early March. I actually found that there's an error. It was 100% my error. I thought the notifications went out to everyone, and I have to restart something on the back end for about half of them to make sure that they get their abstract notification to find out which presentation type they're doing. So I know that a handful of folks here actually did sign up for the research forum, and you will get a notification from Team Dynamics in the background, which is the portal that you submit your abstract through within the next 24 hours or so. And that will tell you if you're doing a poster or a podium talk presentation or a pre-construction presentation. So some folks may have gotten that update already. Some folks have not. Again, it's 100% my error. I talked to IT today, and it became apparent it was my fault. So I apologize for that. So we'll fix that in the next few hours. Then the other update I had was the elections. So I know that we have our lovely elections commission that's established, and we have Devin and Lisa, you're serving out too, right?
Yes.
We have a very large elections commission this time around. So in the past, we've had maybe around 3 people. This time I think we have 7 or 8, which is great. And so they're getting an email from me as well. You'll get one from me in the morning. I've already scheduled it. And the elections portal will start on Monday. There's going to be an email out to the entire student body on Monday. And that is when the filing for elections will be able to start. You'll have more details then. But if anybody does have questions about the elections process, the April council meeting is very important because that is where folks come to give their speech. They present the platforms that they want to run on at the April meeting. And we get to ask questions. I'm sorry. Live show. So elections are coming up. The April council meeting is very important related to the elections process. And it's a very exciting time. So if anyone does have questions about that procedure, if you're interested, or if you kind of aren't interested, but you might be now, please feel free to talk to me. I have some office hours that I'm going to be posting for just standing hours that anybody can come in, and it'll be virtual, so you can just pop in whenever. It'll be just open time that anyone can just come and ask a question, ask a couple of questions, get some feels, and I'll post those throughout the filing period. That'll go out and then on Monday. All right, are there any other questions?
She's not.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mia. All right, I don't see any of our faculty advisors online unless Bill or John joined. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over to GPSA committee reports. Does anyone from a standing committee like Ways and Means have any reports? I don't see any. I don't have any reports for sponsorship. Any reports for constitution and bylaws? I think there's actually a spot on the agenda for that. And then yeah, already gave us an update for the elections commission. We don't have rules and ethics. And
Sorry, Alicia, really quick.
Yeah.
Devin Lopez for the record. I did not put an agenda item for Constitution this time around. But the Constitution Bylaws Committee did finalize the constitutional package. I sent that out earlier this week to the council with the instructions for how to amend it or to submit an amendment. As a reminder, there will be no amendments offered, no new amendments offered live during the meeting in April. All amendments have to be submitted at least 1 week prior. That way we can agendize them and make sure that there is time allotted for each of those amendments. But yeah, just take a look at that and then get any amendments that you want to offer in by 5 p.m. on March 27th. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. And then for the, we don't have the rules and ethics, but for awards committee, we will be done scoring the nominations this weekend. Tomorrow. So then the award winners will be notified sometime in the next 2 weeks. And then before that, the e-board is going to meet to approve all the winners. Then we will notify them and they will be recognized at GPSA's Research Forum on April 18th. On to UNLV campus-wide committees. Are there any representatives who are serving on an external committee on behalf of GPSA who would like to use this time to provide updates? I see none. I actually serve on a outside committee. It's called the Teaching and Learning General Council. I sent out an email to everyone, I think that was this week, earlier, about events that are going on. They are actually really helpful, especially if you are new to being a graduate instructor, if you're a TA, or if you are teaching your own class. They have a lot of events to help with that. So there's like a AI and teaching class that I thought was super interesting. All of those events I have put on the GPSA calendar. So if there's anything that you wanted to check out, go ahead and look at those. And I think they'll be really helpful. I think this is the first time they're actually including, the link to the GPSA calendar is on the website. Do you mind sending the link? Thank you. Laurentia will put it. Yes, in the hamburger menu under public calendar. But I think somebody will put the link in the chat as well.
The calendar's on the dashboard.
But definitely if you're teaching or wanting to, I don't know if they are letting in people who are not yet teaching, but I'm sure you could probably join some of those meetings online. Either way, that would be a really good resource for you because this is the first time they are including graduate teaching assistants in those meetings. And so I'm really happy about that. Yes, so that would be definitely helpful for you, Catherine. On to department and units. Do we have any? Sorry, there's other chats in here. Cool. Do we have any representatives from the grad college here? I don't see anyone. Do you know if the grad college has any updates, Nia?
So I do have an update from the graduate college. So there is a quick memo that we just want to send out to folks that there's a website for like issues and complaints that students would like to place. And I think right now a lot of students are going to the ombuds office for some of these issues. I'm not, it's actually not even listed on the complaints website, but there are a number of resources. And while ombuds is excellent, they actually can't adjudicate anything or arbitrate any situations. They can't give any resolutions. They can just refer people to next steps. And so if you have any kind of issues or concerns that you would like to bring up, if you need like a mediator, ombuds is perfect for that. But if you need somebody to step in, maybe there's a policy violation or something happening that you feel is just inappropriate or might be against a certain policy, some kind of violation in some way, that is an avenue where you would go to the complaints website or go to the graduate college website, and there's a number of forms in the Grad Rebel Gateway. There's a grievance form and there's another form that students can submit in the Grad Rebel Gateway. So there's two, and that's where you can enter a complaint that actually needs resolution or needs some kind of a decision made. So I think there's just a lot of folks, we got feedback, there's a lot of folks going to the ombuds and then they basically get redirected, and that's a lot of emotional baggage to have a Band-Aid ripped off and then have to go someplace else and do it all over again. So we want to make sure people are going to the right place first. And that was the one big update that I really had from grad college. And of course, we're also co-hosting a research forum with them on Saturday, April 18th. But if anybody knows or is close to their faculty members and they would like to influence their faculty members to sign up to judge, we do need a few more judges for the forum. At this time, we have around 70, and we need about 85 to 90. So we definitely need more judges to help. turn on that.
Thank you. All right. On to unfinished business. So here is, we have an update on the civic engagement and voter education. So I will be using this time to discuss GPSA civic engagement and voter education initiatives. The Division of Communications and Marketing, Ariadna, will provide flyers to this, I'm so sorry, you are not the Division of Communications. Sorry, that is Trexie. Trexie will provide flyers. I'm sorry, I know. I think I get communications and community like in my brain mixed up a little bit. But Trexie will provide flyers to the student body, notifying them on the opportunity to run for the Board of Regents. And then the Associate Director of Engagement and Outreach will also be recognized to discuss the March 30th, 2026 March to the Polls event in collaboration with CSUN. Have you guys started?
Devin has a meeting with them because I don't quite know. We're trying to figure out the logistics if it's meeting with the keyboard or what's going on.
All right.
I do have a short update on that.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Devin Lopez for the record. Thank you. Sorry, when I initially posted this agenda, I thought that different people would be presenting this one, but I do have a couple of really quick things. The March to the Polls event with CSUN is going to take place on Monday, March 30th, over at Paida Plaza in front of the Student Union. The executive board will be tabling from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm voluntolding you guys right now that is an event that we are doing. But we're going to be there just to provide resources out to the community, tell them about different opportunities to get involved in elections. And then also those flyers, you should have seen those come into your emails earlier this week. We sent out an email notifying everyone of the opportunity to run for the Board of Regents. Districts 2, 3, and 5 are in the Las Vegas area. 3 and 5 are sort of central Las Vegas. 2 is up in the northwest around Centennial Hills. And then District 8 is around Nellis Air Force Base. That's really the only part of Vegas that one covers, but the rest of it is rural. But yeah, if just check for those flyers. We're going to send out another email with that information again early next week. And the deadline, if anyone is interested here, the deadline to file to run for office in Nevada, specifically for the Board of Regents, is March 13th at 5 p.m. All you need to do is just submit your information to the Secretary of State's website. And then you'll get a form that you can put your name on. You schedule an appointment with the Clark County Registrar, and then you just file that paperwork. The only thing that you have to pay is just a $5 processing fee. Otherwise, there's no other fee to file to run for the Board of Regents. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. All right. Do we have any questions on this item? There's a question. We have a question in the room.
For the record, quick clarification. So you have to register on the Secretary of State's website first. From my experiences and from other experiences, I thought you just walk into Clark County registers for down nearby the North Premium Outlet, and then you walk in, you head to straight down to like an elections department area, and then you just sign up from there. But is that correct? You have to go on the Secretary of State's website?
I'm not sure. Devin, can you answer that?
Yes, Devin Lopez for the record. The only process that I saw posted online was going directly to the Secretary of State's website. You just put your initial information in, and that provides you the form that you then take to the registrar. I'm going to double check on that though, and I'll give you an update hopefully tomorrow morning.
All right. Any other questions or comments? I see none, I hear none. So I'll move on to item number 7, new business. Can I get a motion to open item number 7 for new business for possible action unless otherwise stated? All right, and your name. Thank you. Moved by sociology. Can I get a second? Seconded by Trey Curtis Brown. Too late. All right. Sorry, you beat. All right, so we'll move into item A, which is the Nevada Graduate Student Workers, United Auto Workers, or NGSW UAW updates on unionization and voter engagement. Good. I think that mic should work. Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Ted, I'm a graduate student at graduate worker. We're both here to talk about this agenda item as part of our GA union, that graduate student workers UNLV. My understanding is that Carlos Pacac, when he was a GPSA rep, used to give these updates all the time. Now that he's no longer a rep. Devin invited us here to come and talk about this. So, is this better? So, as many of you know, graduate assistants do many of the teaching, research, and administrative work on our campus, makes our campus run. But despite that, we have very little say over what our workplace looks like. Many GAs suffer from low wages, and when we have problems with our work, there's very little that we can do about it. For example, we can make suggestions to administration, but at the end of the day, the university and our departments make the final decision over every aspect of our work. And a little over a year ago, GAs decided that we wanted to solve this problem through forming a union. By coming together and democratically deciding what we want our workplace to look like, and negotiating a binding contract with administration as equals. And many of you, I'm sure, know this, but it took about 7 weeks for 65%, over 1,500 graduate assistants at UNLV, but also at UNR and at DRI, all signed union authorization cards to form our union. And at that time, GAs went to the chancellor and asked to start the bargaining process, asked to sit down and decide what we want our workplace to look like as equals. Since then, the chancellor has decided not to work with GAs on this. The Board of Regents has many times said they're not interested in bargaining with us. GAs ran a bill in the state legislature that had the support of a majority of our state legislature, but it was opposed by the governor and the bill failed. At the same time, the Board of Regents decided to oppose GA's bill. In conversations that we've had with GAs since this, there have been all of these setbacks, but GAs still face the same low pay, and GAs still have, little recourse for solving problems in our workplace. And because of that, a lot of GAs have realized that the way that we can make the changes that we need is through electing new leaders in our state. So this school year, GAs have gotten together and have decided that the focus for forming our union needs to be on the upcoming election, the primary in June, and also the general election this coming November. So as our union, what GAs have been planning to do is to first support pro-labor candidates who will support GA's democratic right to unionize, and democratic choice to unionize, and start talking to our friends and colleagues and people in our campus community and in our communities outside campus about supporting these candidates and the reason why we are here today is we understand that this council cannot take positions on political candidates, but all of you are leaders in your respective departments. And all of the GAs and graduate students, at large that you represent, can make decisions, for what they want to do in this upcoming election, and what they want to use their voice for. So we want to talk with all of you, in a much more broad context, outside of this 10 minutes that we have right now, because you are leaders, because it's really going to take all of the graduate workers at this school, and also all the graduate students as well. At other universities, there are about 100,000 graduate workers across the country that have unionized successfully. And they have proven to be a very powerful force in their own states. For example, in this past November, graduate workers at the UC San Diego got 10,000 vote commits for a ballot measure there, just from canvassing their campus. And there are over 2,000 GAs in fact. And if we come together and decide that we are all going to work together to make a difference, we're all going to work together to elect the candidates that will allow us to form our union, then we can have a very significant impact over the future. So Evelyn and I are here. We're going to stick around the whole meeting. And I would love to talk with all of you afterwards. And we'd like to talk to all of you going forward the whole rest of this semester. Other questions?
Yeah. Are there any questions? In person or online? Oh, okay. We need to restore order. He was first.
Okay.
I don't know if this is on, so I'm gonna talk.
No, it was where you're good.
Do you guys have any upcoming meetings or anywhere that students can know where to find you?
Yeah, so actually, GAs meet weekly to talk about what we need to do on our campus. I think the easiest way to get in touch is by responding to many emails that are sent out, or you have a website with a contact form, or I like to just remember.
What's the name of the website? I want to put the link in the chat.
Part of something that has recently happened is that postdocs are now also forming a union. They are also going through the whole process that GAs have also gone through a couple of years ago, a year ago now. And so recently we went from Nevada graduate student workers to academic workers of Nevada. So it's something that encompasses also the postdocs as well. That is to say that the name, the website has changed to AWN, so academic workers of Nevada -UAW.org. So that will be the website. There's also AWN _UW, which is the Instagram as well. So those are also different ways that you can get more information of what's been happening, but also try to contact whoever to answer questions or even to get involved in more things. As Ted mentioned, we would love to collaborate with all of you and see what are the things that also in each college, right, and in school, what this can look like for that school specifically, as we know that all of us have different circumstances and contexts. So those priorities in some way will shift, and they'll all be decided by graduate assistants themselves, ourselves in this case. So yeah, we will collaborate, and I guess over answer your question.
Thank you. Ariana?
Same question, so.
Yeah.
And then, we will be here, if you want to talk afterwards, exchange, numbers. Ted might share his, over here right now, so.
Or he can send it to GPSA secretary and then I'll share it to the entire.
Absolutely, that is it.
Hugh, did you have a question?
For the record, were you the one that sent me the email and post, United cards
That's my question.
Today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You explained that, right?
Yeah,
She did.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little bit more what you want to explain?
it was about postdocs, yeah.
Mhm.
it was
Yeah, so
like-
postdocs have recently, not recently, we've been talking about this for a while, so they've had a town hall, they've had the climate survey, so some similar things that GAs have also done as ways to getting engaged with postdocs across the state as well, so it's also UNLV, UNR, and DRI, just like the GAs. And then most recently, they have actually decided on moving forward with union authorization cards, and the card launch will be at UNLV will be on Thursday at 4 p.m. Yeah, so it would be great if, on top of sharing with other grad assistants, if you also share with postdocs, so they can be informed and also make their, be able to have informed, make informed decisions.
Yeah, a little bit of clarification, Julie, for the record, one more time. You have to have a card that says you're in a union, specifically for whatever union you're in order to like kind of be official. And that's only in the state of Nevada for now. I don't know any other states that require it, but that's what I've heard. But correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not entirely sure I understood what you mentioned, but there are a couple, so GAs are a union because we have come together democratically and decided so, but the process of actually getting recognized has to go through the administration as well, or the law that doesn't exist right now. So that is to say that the process right now is to have GAs and postdocs to come forward and say what they think they want, and that is by signing a union authorization card. That's basically using their voice to say, I want to join my colleagues to solve workplace issues through a collective bargaining. And from there, that is a way to show that there is a broad support, so we can go to the university and demand the recognition. But even further than that, as Ted mentioned, with elections coming and whatnot, is also a way to talk to legislators and say, there's an overwhelming majority of GAs and postdocs who have said that they want a union, and the university continuously disrespects the democratic choice, and that can hold also a different weight when you talk to legislators.
I also want to clarify, there's a difference between the union authorization card, which is a way to determine if a majority of workers actually want to unionize. That's different from a union membership card, which is something that happens once you have a contract. But that's later.
All right. Do we have any more questions for Ted and Evelyn? All right. Yeah, thank you guys. Do you have any do you have a email that you would like us to reach you guys at if we have questions?
I mean, you can take just our emails, that would be one easiest way for us to go about it.
Okay.
Do you want us to?
Yeah, give me
Yeah.
1 second. Yep.
Evelyn, Evelyn,
Sorry.
dot Ida, A-I-R-A-M.
AIRAN.
Yeah, Lori, backwards, one more M. Yeah, and you'll know that. It's M.
M.
For the M. M is a Michael? Is a Michael, yes.
Oh, Mike. Okay.
Sorry, I can't.
All right. Thank you guys. Okay, on to item 7B, which is a resolution which is Resolution 45-06, a resolution in support of an inclusive payment structure for graduate student government officials. And I believe Blanca is here to help us discuss this item, who's the chair of the Ways and Means Committee. But this is an item for approval and for this resolution, which is 45-06. Blanca, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. So as Alicia just said, this is a resolution in support of an inclusive payment structure for graduate student government officials. A little bit of context before we get into the weeds of what the resolution says. So I don't even know for how long, but NSHE institutions for a while now have paid their student government members in different ways. And that's because different methods work for different institutions. For example, here at UNLV, graduate or undergraduate student government members can get paid either through a scholarship or they get enrolled into Workday and they get paid through stipends. That method has worked for the institution because the different kinds of students that join student government have different needs. Unfortunately, to be enrolled into something like Workday, students would need either work authorization, a social security number, things like that. And that excludes students who are maybe international students or foreign students, undocumented students, students who are here in the country without those kinds of authorizations or documents. And the stipend route allows them to participate in student government and get paid alongside their peers. I know UNR has something similar like that as well. CSN is one of those institutions who only do stipends, I believe, and they don't even allow students without work authorization to join student government. I know that is something that they've been trying to change, but as of right now, it's been that way. And I know NSHE specifically with the Board of Regents, there have been conversations within the last few years about them wanting to push student governments into having one uniformed method all across the state. And we essentially want to get ahead of it by pushing this resolution. And we had a really in-depth conversation within the Ways and Means Committee for the last 2 meetings now, and we've all agreed that we all prefer the scholarship route. So as I mentioned, there's the scholarship route and there's the stipend route, and there's pros and cons to both. But I think the biggest priority that we had was to make sure that we include as many students as possible. We don't want to exclude anyone just because of immigration documents or work authorization documents or anything like that. And so that pro, in our opinion, severely outweighed any sort of cons that the scholarship could provide. And so that is what this resolution is about. It's about GPSA supporting the scholarship route. We have language here as to, there's some context there, but essentially in the bottom, the call to action asks that if NSHE were to push for a unified payment structure, that GPSA establishes a scholarship-based payment structure for GPSA to work with the financial aid office to make sure that funds are applied in a timely manner, and that CSUN would impose a similar payment system, things like that. I think that's pretty much the gist of it, but I will be happy to answer any questions or concerns that the council has.
Thank you, Blanca. And also, this has come through the e-board as well, and the e-board does endorse this this resolution. I just wanted to mention that because I didn't mention it before. So this is something that the e-board has also discussed, and everybody wanted to bring it to council as well. Do we have any questions for Blanca or Ways and Means Committee on this item? I see none. So can I get a motion to approve resolution 45-06?
Sorry, really quick, Devin Lopez for the record.
Yeah.
I believe there was an amendment that was offered by Ways and Means earlier this week. I don't know if that was included in this document.
I don't see it. But you did slap me, I forgot.
I can put the new line in the chat. Let me just make sure it's the right one.
It's be it further resolved.
Yes.
Okay, so the new language includes, be it further resolved, GPSA and the UNLV Financial Aid Office will do their due diligence to ensure that funds applied to GPSA stipend recipients bypass any outstanding balances on their respective student accounts. So this way, as many of you who have received scholarships may know, sometimes if you have a balance on your account, sometimes the scholarship that you get gets reduced because of the balance. This way, and this is kind of the way that we do it with sponsorship. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but we can usually resolve it. But it should bypass any of those balances. So you should get the award in full. And that's what this this new language is stating. All right. Do we have any further questions? Oh, Trey Curtis Brown already moved to approve action 7 or to approve item 7B, resolution 45-06. Do we have a second? All right, all in favor of the approval of the action, say aye. Oh, wait, sorry. Devin said something. We would need to mention, need a motion and vote for the.
I don't think so because the amendment was already made and approved in committee. It was just the clerical error of not including it in the supplementals for this meeting, but that amendment passed already.
Okay, got it. I'm going to continue. Any oppositions, say nay. Any abstentions? All right, motion passes unanimously. So yay, we're all gonna get scholarships. Next is going to be item 7C, which is the resolution 45-07, a resolution in support of a memorandum to UNLV's student fee increases. And the chair will request time for discussion for possible action for the approval of resolution 45-07. This resolution is introduced and endorsed by the GPSA Executive Board. Devin, did you want to speak on this item?
Yes, thank you, Devin Lopez for the record. I can just provide a little bit of context. So as I mentioned last month, in my updates after the tuition increase vote by the board, resolutions 4507, 8, and 9 today are all part of that sort of plan to make sure that the tuition increase is still responsive to the needs of students. And so this first of 3 resolutions, 4507, essentially calls on the administration to place a moratorium on all student fee increases that's differential or program fees, especially because in about by fiscal year 2029, we will have a yearly tuition surplus of 5.8 million above what we needed in order to break even on that original. The reasoning for the tuition increase was the COLAs. So we would have 5.8 million more than what we even needed for that official reason. So this resolution essentially states that, hey, we have a surplus of tuition dollars. Why would we have differential or program fees be raised in other areas when we can have those tuition dollars go to support our students and make sure that we still keep the institution pretty affordable? And yeah, I hope everyone had a chance to read it. That's pretty much the main argument here.
All right. Do we have any questions or comments for Devin? All right. Sorry. Can I get a motion to approve resolution 45-07? All right, Trey Curtis Brown already on it. Can I get a second? All right, all in favor for approving resolution 45-07, say aye. Any oppositions, say no or nay. Any abstentions? All right, motion passes unanimously. Now on to item 7D, which is another resolution with 45-08, a resolution requesting transparency in UNLV GA's program funding structure. This was a this was a resolution to ask for more transparency about how GA lines are allocated, given that most of the budget is appropriated by a state-funded pool of money. But there was some confusion with some discussions with upper administration on how they determined how many GA lines there were, because we were getting conflicting information from upper administration, as well as the grad college, who is the body who does actually give out the GA information. And so this was a resolution just asking for some transparency on exactly how the process works. Devin, did you have any other comments that you wanted to add to that?
Thank you, Vice President Carr. Devin Lopez for the record. No, I think that pretty much sums it all up. Essentially, the main ask that is part of this resolution is requesting the administration to provide a very clear breakdown of the percentage of GAs that are funded through purely state dollars, the percentage that are funded through institutional dollars, like dollars specifically given or raised by UNLV, whether it's through tuition or other means. Or if that's not possible, also just to get a breakdown of the percentage of a average GA's stipend plus benefits that is covered by the state versus the percentage of those benefits that are covered by the university. So this is just asking for clarification and transparency, especially in the next coming years, to make sure that we are making the correct decisions and having the right data in mind when we're having discussions about the GA program.
Thank you, Devin. Do we have any questions about this resolution? Any comments? All right. Can I get a motion to approve resolution 40? Trey, I didn't even get it out. Can I get a motion to approve resolution 45-08? Motion by Trey Curtis Brown. Can I get a second? All right. Seconded by sociology rep. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Any oppositions, please say no or nay. Any abstentions? I see none. Motion unanimously approved. On to resolution 45-09, which is item 7E, a resolution requesting transparency in UNLV's incoming tuition surplus. So the chair will request time for discussion and for possible action of the approval of resolution 45-09. The resolution is introduced and endorsed by the GPSA e-board. Devin, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about for this item?
Yeah, just another couple quick things just to mention on this one. So the main ask for, sorry, this is 4509. I had the wrong resolution up. The main request in resolution 45-09 is that the UNLV administration provide a very clear breakdown of the expected spending plan for the 5.8 million yearly surplus of tuition. One of my biggest concerns with the whole entire tuition increase process over the past 6 months prior to the vote was that it was very rushed and that we didn't have very clear plans of how money would be spent, especially if there was going to be a surplus. So unfortunately, a lot of this advocacy has to be done on the back end after the vote has already taken place. But again, this is just our way within GPSA to make sure that we have clear documentation saying that this is a priority and that we want to see clear budget breakdowns on what that tuition surplus is going to be used for. And I believe there is also a clause in here that requests that 5.8 million either be reimbursed back to students in the form of scholarships or go towards directly towards student initiatives. So this would essentially empower future presidents or executive boards to act on those requests and make sure that those funds are allocated in the correct ways that the GPSA would like to see.
That's me. Any questions or comments for Devin? Or about resolution 45-09? All right, then I guess I will motion to approve resolution 45-09. Trey missed this one.
No, you didn't.
Oh my gosh, he didn't. Well, sorry. Motion made by Trey Curtis Brown. Can I get a second? All right, seconded by a representative from sociology. All in favor of the approval of motion 45-09, please say aye. Any opposition, say no or nay. Any abstentions? All right, the motion for the resolution of approval for 45-09 passes unanimously. Next, we will talk about item 7F, which is the institutional neutrality policy. And at this time, the chair will request time for discussion on a recent entry-level policy proposal to implement institutional neutrality. This policy would require NSHE institutions and their administrations to take official positions on neutrality on political matters not relevant to higher educational experience. This policy will be introduced for the Board of Regents action within the next few months. And this policy proposed was initially raised by members of the Nevada Student Alliance in the February NSA meeting. I believe this came about because of some emails that went out on events that were slightly political in favor of one party over another. And I think it was earlier this year. Devin, do you want to explain a little bit more?
Yes, thank you. Hello, it's me again, Devin Lopez,
Wait,
your
wow.
friendly neighborhood GPSA president. But yeah, so this was a policy that was raised to the Nevada Student Alliance, which for those of you who might not know, the NSA is the body of all of the student presidents across Nevada. So myself, the CSUN president, all of us are on this board and we meet monthly. And during this monthly meeting, we typically have a time to speak directly with the chancellor of NSHE and just provide any issues that we are facing, or for him to provide to us to take back to our institutions. And so this policy was raised in our February meeting, and essentially it would require, there's no official language yet on what the policy would look like, but there's discussions that it would be implemented in some type. But the policy would essentially require administrations. It's not clear if student governments would be part of this, but at least university administrations to take an official neutral stance on all political matters that do not relate to higher education. Part of the frustration, or part of the reason that students were upset, were that over the summer there was the assassination of a Democratic lawmaker up in, I believe, Minnesota, and that did not receive any responses or student body emails by any of the institutional presidents in Nevada, as far as I've been made aware. But then a couple months later, Charlie Kirk was assassinated over in Utah, and that did receive responses. The claim was that shooting took place on a campus, and of course there's a desire for institutional presidents to respond to that and make sure that students are feeling secure and feeling safe on their own campuses. But there was still a lot of frustration that it appeared that there was one party being favored by the show of support through emails and trying to comfort students. So that was basically what caused this discussion to start. As soon as an exact policy is drafted, I'll be sure to send it over, and as well as check for any limitations on student governments. We technically already have sort of like a political gag order in that we can't endorse any political party, we can't endorse any candidate that's running for office. So that's always been true, but this would just be more on communications and what the universities can communicate out to students on political matters. But yeah, so that's essentially the only discussion we've had on it right now. I just wanted to bring it up to everyone here for their initial, just to introduce it to you all in case this discussion does come back up in the next couple months. If it is for action, I'd imagine it would probably be for action at the June quarterly meeting up in Reno later this year. But that's essentially all that we have on that policy right now.
Thank you, Devin. Do we have any questions in the room or online?
If there's a question in the
Where? Oh. I'll do that.
Hello? Oh, see? I have a question on like, how are we considering defining what is relevant to the higher education experience? When it's like positions of like institutional neutrality?
Devin?
Sorry, it's a little hard to hear. Just to confirm that I heard the
Oh.
question, it's that how do we define what is relating to the higher education experience?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so that was a question that the student body presidents raised to the chancellor, and it was not necessarily clear when we asked him what the actual policy would be. Again, this is like a very early policy discussion, and we're still waiting to get an actual draft of what it would, the actual policy would look like if implemented. But we would definitely, as student government leaders, I'm going to make sure that they at least consider including language that defines what is a higher education policy, what is relating to the higher education experience, things like that. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this was somehow used to say that, hey, a union is a political entity, despite it being a purely economic entity. It's not political at all. I'd imagine that they could say that a political entity is a union, and therefore we cannot talk about unions or something like that. So we will just be very careful to make sure that there is specific language so that we can't get strong armed into talking about or not talking about specific issues in the future.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments? All right.
not sure said they have to launch a class.
Okay. Well, we don't have anything else to vote on anyway, so it's fine. All right. Our next item is a call for committee members. This is a time for you to self-nominate yourself for, members of council may self-nominate for any current vacancy. Vacancies for committees. We don't have any for the sponsorship committee. Are there any other committee vacancies? For like ways and means? I mean, we don't have anyone for rules and ethics.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who would like, oh, and for constitution and bylaws, as well as the postdoctoral affairs board for the grad college? Is there anyone here? Okay. Is there anyone here who would like to nominate themselves or online? Which position would you like, Salome? So there's the constitution, bylaws, the postdoctoral board from the grad college, or you could do rules and ethics, but a form of, okay. All right, we'll have you down for rules and ethics. And then I think you get voted in our next meeting, because I think that's what that spot is for.
We do sorry, Devin Lopez for the record. 7G, any self-nominations we can vote on today.
Okay.
Any nominations we get between today and the next meeting would go into the above section.
Okay, cool. Any other people or persons who would like to nominate themselves for any of these committees? All right, then I will go ahead and, or can I get a motion to approve Salome's induction into rules and ethics, or not induction, serving on the committee? I don't know what that language would be, but, and rules and ethics. Can I get a motion? Oh, actually, and well, I guess we can go forward with this. Can I get a second? All right, and then all in favor of inducting Salome, who is in what represent?
Environmental and global health.
Our rep from environmental and global health,
Yeah,
and to the rules and ethics committee. Aye, say aye. Any nays? Who, if you are in opposition, please say nay. Any abstentions? All right, that motion unanimously passes. And then I think we have another one in there. Christy, who would like to be in the postdoctoral committee. So can I get a motion to approve Christy as a member for the postdoctoral committee, which is an external graduate college committee? No, I need a motion first. You can go, you go for it. I just need the motion first. You can say so moved. Oh, you did. I'm so sorry. My brain is a little bit done for the day, but go, so moved by sociology. Can I get a second? All right, seconded by mathematics. All in favor for approving Christy, who is our representative from
Psychiatry and behavioral health.
psychology,
Psychiatry,
psychiatry and
behavioral health.
and what? And behavioral health. Please say aye. Any oppositions, please say nay. Any abstentions? All right, motion unanimously passed. I think we are almost done. So our last one is our call for new business items. Does anybody have any items for discussion for our next meeting that you would like to add to the agenda? I don't see any, so we can move on to the announcements, which is that the quarterly Board of Regents meetings are currently happening today and tomorrow at CSN, the Charleston campus, which is where Devin was today. So unfortunately, you had to have me, sorry. But I mean, I'm sure it was a blast. Actually, I had a blast. I had a great time. But the next announcement is that council representatives need to ensure that you filled out your council registration form. This form's data is our official record of our current representatives. So please fill that out if you are planning to stay on council for next year. Or I think you have to fill it out either way, just so we can have you down for a record. And then we also have our Soul Hope event, which we've kind of talked about already, which is coming up on March 28th. Is there any registration that people need to fill out for that?
No, I'll be sending out a survey.
All right. So keep your eyes peeled for the survey and your emails if you would like to attend that event on March 28th. And then also be on the lookout for any announcements regarding the annual Graduate and Professional Research Forum. And the research forum is taking place on April 18th, and I will be there. Also, if you would like to volunteer, we are still looking for some extra volunteers. So please either email the GPSA email address or our GPSA manager, Virginia Smercina, if you would like to volunteer for the the GPSA Research Forum. Now we will enter another period of public comment. Please, if you have any public comment, please state your public comment now.
Devin Lopez for the record, LOPEZ. Thank you, Vice President Carr, for chairing this meeting for me.
Thank you.
It was very well run.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes.
Hello, this is Christian from Sociology. Would like to comment. I'd just like to let everybody know that Student Connections and Engagement is hosting a gender coming positive March 31st. And y'all can tell your departments about it, can tell your students. Be wonderful. It's a really great thing that you're doing. And we wouldn't want students to miss out on.
Where is it located?
This will be located in the Student Union, 8 from 11 a.m. Yeah, March 31st.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Hi, y'all. Hugh Lee for the record. I have a
running for board of regent. Just kidding.
Come on.
I ran for regent back in 2023. I had 5,000 votes, but unfortunately, it was not my time again to run. But I have another candidate. His name is Hunter King. He will be filing for office next week for Board of Regent District 2. He has my personal approval and sponsorship from me. But you guys can all research your regents and the candidates, especially after next Friday. So next Friday is the last day of filing, so don't forget to check your all my social medias. You might see a lot more people who are running for office in districts that you care about. And it is a live updated tracker on the Clark County Elections website. You can see anyone who's running for your Senate office, your state assembly, who's running for city council, running for governor, all that. So that is my personal.
Thank you. And also on that note, the districts that have people up for election are districts 2, 3, and 5. All those, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And what's the other one? He did put, and 10, thank you. So if you live in any of those districts, make sure to vote. I know I will be, I live in 3. I think that's all we have for today, folks. I don't see any other announcements unless I missed it.
No.
All right. I will adjourn this meeting at 7:35 p.m.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, y'all. Have a good night.
Great job. Thank you.
Wait, you're done?
Yeah. Hi, Emmett.
You're done with your meeting?
Yes, we're done.
They have adjourned.
Hi, ambulance.
Bye, you guys. Thank you. Great job. Seriously. Way to go, guys.